as I thought. We were in this together. Equals. That was never true, was it, Moiraine? Your eyes that I cannot lie. So tell me the truth.
We were never equals.
What the hell am I watching? Welcome back, everybody. I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and this is my review, if you want to even call it that, of Wheel of Time Season 2, Episode 2. I don't know what I just watched. I literally watched something that is pure bad fan fiction. I know I say that all the time regarding this show, but seriously, there were all of 2 scenes in the 58 odd minutes of this episode, again, that were actually from The Great Hunt. The rest of it, made up. Doesn't happen in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. There are 6, count them, 6 separate storylines going on in this episode, all edited together like shit. We've got a Rand story that's completely made up. We've still got Perrin's story that is stolen from Rand and Matt that is also now, with the exception of one scene, completely made up. We've got Elayne and, I'll say it nicely, Egwene. We've got them coming together in all the wrong way. We've got a Nynaeve and Liandrin thing going on. Then we've got Matt, and we've got Matt, and it's like 2 seconds. He's our first one today. You've got a Matt thing going on that's really, again, breaking everything, completely broken. And then we got, who's left? Moiraine and Lan, which again will break your brain. This is incredibly bad. I don't know how anybody forgives this. If you love those books right there. If you love those books, or even just like them, I don't know how you forgive this. I really don't. It's a butchery. It's an abomination. It's a crime against fantasy fiction. It's a crime against Robert Jordan. If he was alive, he'd be filing charges right now. He's been assaulted by Rafe Judkins and his cabal of retards. Let's get into it. We're going to go Matt first. Then I believe we're doing Elayne and Egwene. Then I think I'll do Nynaeve. Then I think I'll do Perrin. Then I think I'll do Lan and Moiraine. And then we're going to go to Rand. That's because Rand is our final scene. You know, if I'm going to do something, it has to end on the final one. And Rand, our main character, barely in it again. Barely in it. The most screen time goes to the Whammons. The Whammons. And within it, we got a couple Aes Sedai scenes that are crap too. Right? Let's do this. I still got to get through this and get to episode 3. Oh, I'm in pain.
Another cell. Oh, shit. What?
So you're the possum that's been scratching at my wall.
Right? Let's knock out Matt. Matt is literally 6 minutes in this episode. We open, now this is happening in the middle of the Nynaeve stuff after Liandrin has ditched her. We'll get back to that during the Nynaeve section. She bought some sweet cakes. She brings them to Matt, who she's keeping prisoner. Reasons why we still don't know. They have a little exchange. Why are you doing this? Why do you want me in here? Just stay here, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Liandrin leaves. Matt then eats the cakes, not poisoned, yay, and returns to digging out his stone in the back of the wall that he started with last episode. Skip ahead. Matt has removed one stone. He's working on another one, manages to push it out and find there's just another cell on the other side of the wall. What did you expect? You're in a dungeon. But the cell isn't empty. As you'd expect, you expected somebody to be there, but not who is there. Turns out the other side of the wall is 40-year-old Asian Min. That's right, 40-year-old Asian Min is back with all her sass. They have a conversation. They work together apparently in, I don't know how much time passes to open up a bigger hole so Min can come in. She brings some wine. They have a drink. They have a conversation. Mat goes, "Wait, why are you here?" I see things. Oh, that's it? I expected murder or something like that. Blah, 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 blah. How did you get caught? Well, I came here looking for, I don't like to come to Tar Valon, but the ship I was on changed course, and there's always good bar work to be found, because remember, this Min is a bar wench. He's a bar wench. Remember that. 40-year-old Asian Min slings beer. Then she complains, some red knew who I was, and I'm here. Then, after a little more talky, Mat doesn't want to see his visions, but then we get a vision from Min of Mat killing Rand with the dagger from Shadar Logoth. Wow, okay, that's not what she sees around him, but whatever, scene over. Let's break down why this is all wrong real quick. 1, you saw in the opening clip, Mat goes, shit. I say shit. Mat says blood and bloody ashes. That's what Mat says. Robert Jordan removed modern cussing from his books and replaced it with a wide variety of in-world swears. Blood and bloody ashes. That is what Mat says, not shit. Way to ruin the character out of the gate with the fresh guy. Then also, let's see. Min. Min is not imprisoned in the White Tower. She is actually supposed to be there. That is correct. But she is a guest of the Amyrlin. The Amyrlin keeps her there right now so that she can check on her visions and know this and that, and then has her dressing as a girl, as a full-on girl, not as tomboy Min, but as full-on, I forget Min's full name all of a sudden, but you know what I'm talking about, as full-on Lady Min. And she hates it. And during this period of time, she also strikes up a friendship with Egwene, with Nynaeve, with Elayne. And she knows that she and Elayne are going to share a dick. But no, this Min's locked up by Liandrin because of the visions. They have literally destroyed any possibility of the proper characters having the proper relationships in this story. It's crap. It's done. And we're done. Mat's over. Moving on.
I'm Elayne Trakand, daughter heir of Andor. You were my subject.
We have Elayne and Moiraine here. What am I going to do? All right, we're going to run through it real quick. Then I'm going to break down to you why it's so very wrong in so many ways. Remember, this is a compilation of different parts of the episode because the editing of this show is horrendous and they jump around from different scenes. So it's all together. Let's go. Moiraine is coming back to her room from doing whatever the hell she's been doing as a novice. Finds somebody's moving in next door. There's maids, there's furniture, there's everything all over the place, and there's pillows in front of her door. God darn it, there's pillows in front of my door. I'm not happy about that. Picks up the pillows, goes to return them next door, and we're greeted with Elayne. Elayne, who is not a snooty bitch right away. Not a snooty bitch. Just says thank you, you can put them right there. While Moiraine instantly goes to, Seaville. She goes to Seaville, acts like a bitch. Elayne maintains her composure, says, oh, I'm a novice too, you're a novice, we're novices together, isn't that great? I'm so glad to know that. Then they go over to Egwene's room, where she inadvertently makes the comment, oh, you haven't moved in either, have you? Not realizing for a moment that Egwene has been there for a while. Oh no, I'm not everybody's not a rich girl like me. Oh no, the pretty white girl, and this she's okay. Chick playing Elayne, she's all right. Wouldn't throw her out of bed. Chick playing Elayne, oh, pretty white girl, though, was mean to the brown girl for a moment. Oh, no. They have a little come-to moment where they both realize, oh, Egwene's been here a while, and she's not very happy with being talked to like that. So what does Elayne do? Elayne tries to smooth it over, realizes she's from Two Rivers, and that she is from Andor. Because remember, Two Rivers is a part of Andor, even though in the books, people tend to forget that in that world. She reveals her name. I am Elayne Trakand, daughter, heir, soon one day to be Queen of Andor, the most powerful nation in the world. Egwene just goes, Things obviously get smoothed over because we come back later. Egwene is giving Elayne a tour of the tower, but we quickly find out that Elayne has been coming there since she was a child. She knows it better than Egwene does. Egwene kind of goes, she doesn't like that. Then they run into Sheriam Sedai, who, and I was right, I guess this was Sheriam Sedai from last episode, even though nobody gave her freaking name in the episode. It is Sheriam Sedai. Sheriam Sedai is very angry that there were maids and furniture everywhere, demands to know who did it. Elayne shows some balls and some grit, says no, and therefore she's going to get chastised. Well, sorry, she's going to get beat by Sheriam for the next 3 months in the morning every day. Come back later, jump again. We are now later in the evening. It's after a whole bunch of Nynaeve stuff has gone on. We're going to get to Nynaeve next. Bunch of Nynaeve stuff. We're back in Elayne's room. She and Moiraine are having some hot cider, I guess. I don't know. They're talking and getting to know each other. And here is where, again, I called this last episode. I called it in my last review. Here is now set up a faux antagonistic thing between Egwene and Nynaeve. After some talking, Elayne gets Moiraine to admit that she's annoyed that no matter how hard she works in studying, nobody pays attention to her. They're all always paying attention to Nynaeve because Nynaeve's so strong. She skips classes. She skips out on her lessons. She doesn't get anything right. She can't even channel. But everybody's paying attention to her, and they're pushing her forward. Me. Now, during this, Nynaeve comes by and hears it and then scurries away upset. Elayne then calls out Moiraine for being jealous. She goes, I'm not jealous. Oh, no. That's jealousy, says Elayne. I live in a world of jealousy. I know what it looks like. I know when people are jealous of others. Catches her off guard. And then that's it. They're done for the episode. Let's unpack all of this real quick then. They have already butchered this entire relationship. Because one, yes, do they become fast friends here? Sort of. But it's more along the lines of we're both very cheerful and we're in this novice thing together. We're bonding over our novice life, our hard novice life. We're not jealous of each other. The only moment that in the books Egwene is jealous of Elayne is that she has a relationship with Rand. At this point, Egwene hasn't gotten over her childish affection for Rand. While Elayne is head over heels in love with him, full on in love, not childish love, full on in love, one of his 3 love interests. We are already, and also Nynaeve's also included in this. And as I said earlier, Min, the power trio, the heroine trio, Egwene, Elayne, Nynaeve, they are fast friends. They get along well together. Even though Nynaeve does get annoyed with Elayne as the story goes on, with her kind of noble-ish attitude when they're out in the world. But that's when they're out in the world. And here, they're all on the same level. They all get along. They have totally ruined it out of the bat. And we are also, how we are possibly going to get to the intrigue section of this story where they go on a Black Aja hunt and then get tricked by Liandrin, I don't know. Because they haven't set that up at all here. We're 2 of 8 episodes in and nothing has happened except a lot of CW bullshit. That's where we are. With this episode, we are right back in CW town, where everybody's walking and talking, sitting and talking, walking, complaining and crying, and effing in the hallways. We're back to effing in the hallways all over the place. Well, that's basically it. They're off to a very bad start with Egwene, Elayne, and Nynaeve being a heroine trio. Very, 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 very bad. All right, I guess we're on to Nynaeve, not the lovable bitch that we like from the books.
You'll still be hurting when you go. You need turmeric to help smooth the inflammation.
Get out! Before I kill you, you get out! Get out! You stupid girl!
Nynaeve literally does F all in this episode. She's there to look cowed, to look sad, to look upset, look scared. That is not Nynaeve. That is not Nynaeve. But that's what she does throughout this episode. It starts where she walks into a clinic run by the Aes Sedai. Liandrin, now they've tied Liandrin and Nynaeve together for some retarded reason, and I'm going to get to that at the end, where now it's, okay, here is healing going on, because you're so awesome, you're so powerful. A lot of affirmation always going on for Nynaeve too. You're so awesome, you're so powerful that here you can recognize these weaves. So we've got diversity accepted here, healing some sick girl. They go through that. Nynaeve is amazed. We go outside. Liandrin now begins to tell Nynaeve about the different Ajahs, which is something that was done ages ago in the book, in the actual story. Nynaeve, when they come to the tower, knows exactly what she wants to be. She wants to be yellow. She wants to heal. Never a question. Never a doubt. Liandrin spends a lot of time fluffing her, making her feel good, saying, when I'm going to arrange this, you're going to go right to your accepted trial, which is something that in the book was done literally immediately with no pushing from anybody. They all let her be accepted because they knew it wouldn't work as a novice. Well, blah, blah, blah. We come later on to Nynaeve busily looking around for stuff to do. She runs into somebody asking, well, where's Liandrin? Oh, Liandrin's this way. She follows Liandrin through a secret tunnel into the town. Okay. She never even sees Liandrin. Come back in a second. Meanwhile, there's a meeting between Sheriam and the Alana and her bisexual warders, because we got to keep getting them in there. Got to keep having them be a part of it. Anywho, they quickly get through that, and we discover that Alana is going to leave the tower to go help Moiraine, because Alana doesn't like what Liandrin's doing, but Sheriam says Liandrin and her group have sway, and they're going to push Nynaeve to be accepted. Apparently, Liandrin is completely taken over anything Elaida was going to do in this so far, because even with Elayne now in the story, no sign of Elaida. None at all. Which is going to be weird, considering Elaida is going to be Amyrlin at one point. So odd. Right. Now, we come back. Nynaeve is somehow found and followed Liandrin. It's nighttime now, to some place where Liandrin is tending to an old man, who we're going to find out at the end of it is her son, that she had obviously hundreds of years, a long time ago. Very meek and un-Nynaeve like Nynaeve tries to help, ending up in the transition clip you saw, getting a big old slap in the face from Liandrin, who now is, I'm so sorry, my boy, that you were in pain, I didn't know. Me. Nynaeve runs away. This is when she hears Mole Gwaine talking trash about her to Elayne. Then she goes to sulk in a room. Then Liandrin shows up, says, I don't like this anymore, but I've put this into motion. Come on, you're going to do your accepted trial. She goes down. We meet Sherry and random Asian Sedai, and boom, we're set up for next episode where Nynaeve is going to go through the arches, and we're going to get that. Now, I wonder how they're going to do that next episode. Haven't watched it yet. I bet it's going to be great. I got nothing else to say. Nynaeve did nothing except walk around and look scared and sad this episode, which is not Nynaeve. They made up stuff for her to do. Why did you make up all this stuff for her to do when all you had to do is get to her accepted trial? Because we're pushing a Liandrin storyline. She's Black Ajah. Remember that. Liandrin, spoilers, is Black Ajah, but we're trying to make her sympathetic with her sick boy, her old man boy who's sick now. She has to watch somebody she loves grow old and die because she never ages. They're setting it up. I guarantee. Sympathetic is why she's Black Ajah. Boom, it's going to happen. Right. We're done here. Next crap storyline.
They're not your pack, you know. The Shinarans.
Perrin and his non-story. Perrin and his stolen story. Perrin, who does nothing but look astonished and talk back to people. Really, that's all Perrin does. Perrin is worthless in this show and acted poorly. This guy still can't act 2 years later. What do we got going on here? We're now going to come on. One of the arches in the previous segment was one accurate scene, or at least the beginning of one. Here, we're going to get the only other accurate scene from the books. Perrin and the Shynarans are marching on. They come across a slaughtered village. Fine. Perrin thinks he sees somebody in a house. They go inside. His eyes go golden because now, remember, apparently, wolf powers allow you to see the past. Yes, he does it again. He sees a family slaughtered by dark friends in a fade. Then he's pulled out of it, and he sees the carnage, what it is, and Elias tells him, oh, it's real easy when you know the difference between reality and a vision, isn't it? Some nonsense bullshit. Complete bullshit. Then here we get the actual right scene from the story. The original story, when Rand, Mat, Perrin, Ingtar, and the rest of the Shynarans are tracking Pat and Fane, they come across a slaughter, and they come across a fade basically crucified up against the wall, pinned to a wall with stakes. Fane had done that. That's how strong Fane is. Fane is at this point. He can take a fade easily. And here it is. That's the one. Of course, you're missing the key characters, Rand and Mat and all that good stuff. They're all shocked by it, and then they leave. Later on, we come back to our stalwart little group here, coming on rando effing village, who knows freaking where. It's gotta be close to the West Coast because that's where the Sentient have landed. Because after they decide to spend the night, and Elias, as you saw in the clip, tells Perrin, they're not your pack. And in the previous scene, Perrin had told him, stop messing with me. I don't want to be what you are. Blah, blah, whatever. They go to sleep. Perrin is asleep at night. And during the night, here comes a squad of Sentient. And I guess they are Sentient, even though they don't have the insectoid helmets. And you missed that little part of something recognizable from the books again. The Sentient attack. We have a big shaky cam battle in the village, and I will give them credit. Ingtar and Uno have some great choreography here. They're kicking some ass. I give you that. Ass kicking done. When Perrin gets free, he has to go help Loyal from they're holding him with ropes, and he's roaring like a beast, which is something Loyal wouldn't do. He wants to be not seen as a monster. He's a shy giant. Not a raging beast, but no, in this one, he hulks out and is throwing guys everywhere. Everybody breaks free. It looks like the Shynarans and Perrin are going to win out, but then the crowd parts, and here come the Domain. Looking not anything like Domain. They should be in rags with leashes. Not all dolled up with pacifiers in their mouths so they can't speak. So the Domain are ordered to use the one power, but instead of doing what Domain do and using the one power to blow up the earth, they used wind. Because if they blowed up the earth, it would have killed everybody if you followed the book lore. And you can't have this happen because guess what? This didn't happen in the book! Perrin and the Shynarans are not attacked and captured by the Sentient, who then arrive with one of their leaders, clearly dark friend Longnail Girl, and Ishii. Ishii is there for some silly reason. Yes, Ishii is in the Great Hunt, but he's still whacked out of his gourd and acting as Bad al-Zaman, thinking he's the Dark One. He's not sane Ishii. He's insane at this point in the real story, which will lead to his duel with Rand at the end. Are we going to get there? I don't know how we're going to get there at this point. I guess they'll find a way. But that's it. Ishii sees Perrin and realizes, ooh, I got one of the Taverin. Yay me. I'm so good at what I do. That's it. That's what Perrin did. Nothing. Except tell Elias to stay away from me and have a silly fight and be captured. We're done. I have nothing to say except this is not Perrin's story. Not one bit. All right, moving on.
Good. I wanted to know how far you go for the dragon if you're to lead him to victory.
Lan and Moiraine, completely made up. More made up bullshit. Everybody involved in this little segment, and I say little, it's really not that long. Everybody involved in this little segment of the episode, completely made up. Character interactions, behavior, desires, well, mostly desires, all made up. Not book accurate, not even remotely entire franchise accurate. Because again, remind you, Moiraine doesn't have her abilities sealed off by Ishii. We open up, Moiraine and Lan are recovering from the battle with the Fades, which they should be dead from. Moiraine has to get where she's going. She's going to get there fast. She needs to go now. Get ready. Make sure Toma saddles the horse, Lan, because you're still wounded. I don't want to fall off. So snarky with him right now, and it's terrible. This is not their relationship. They are not at odds with each other. And as I called it last episode, they push that even further here. When we arrive later, they've arrived just outside Tar Valon. This little party of Moiraine, Lan, Perrin, Thomas. I remember Thomas was her warder. I'd forgotten that. That's who that is. And then other Aes Sedai chick, whatever. Perrin, in the past, in the real book, does put all the pieces together about who Rand is. And Moiraine doesn't initially trust her because Moiraine doesn't trust anybody except Swan. That's the only person she trusts. Rightfully so in the books. And here, of course, here it's a little worse because they're scissor me timbering all the goddamn time, which makes it wrong. Just wrong. Anyway, Perrin has figured out that Rand is the Dragon Reborn and that he's alive and starts to push Moiraine for information and find out how far she'll go. Moiraine almost pulls a dagger on her. And you saw in the clip, good. I would see how far you'd go to protect him and lead him. Notice, lead him. Of course, that is sort of book accurate because the Aes Sedai believe they need to lead the dragon. They need to guide him. But the dragon is the one in the end that needs to lead them. Rand cannot be controlled. He can only be sort of pointed sometimes, as we learn later on in the real story. But what's going to happen here? Moiraine needs to go. She needs to F off. To go find Rand, to reconnect, to actually be where she's supposed to be eventually in the story, not wandering around doing F all. We learned that Perrin is going to head to Tar Valon. See, in the books, Perrin was with the initial group that picked up Egwene, Nynaeve, and everybody and carted them back to the tower and gave them a little instruction on the way. But see, originally along the way, on the way back to the tower, Moiraine and Lan, they effed off to go follow Rand. And then Perrin and Thomas also effed off. Well, I think Moiraine and Lan went off to do something else, but Perrin went off to help Rand. And Perrin is supposed to go be part of the Shinaran squad hunting for the horn and the dagger, not effing off to the tower to read books. Again, major fuck up. Now, we get to that nice little transition. Oh, no, I'm sorry. In between all this, we have a nice little campfire moment where we recount Moiraine and Lan meeting. Now, I don't remember their origin together. I don't. I honestly do not. But I seriously doubt the bullshit we hear in this about following and thinking you're somebody else, thinking you're following me, a mercenary. I kind of doubt that's all wrong. I mean, I kind of doubt it is right. I kind of feel like it's probably wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember their backstory. Again, I'm an average Wheel of Time fan. I just read the books. I haven't delved into a lot of stuff, and even my memory isn't that great on all of it. Then we transition to their final moment. The transition clip I showed you just a few short minutes ago. Things are boiling to a head. Moiraine's going to F off. She has a big conversation with Lan about how we've lost everything. We've already lost. We're already losing the last battle because we've lost control of Rand and I don't have my powers and Ishii is free. Somehow, she knows that was Ishii and not the Dark One. How? Don't know. No evidence, no knowledge. We haven't seen her come to that conclusion. She just knows that that's Ishii, and now the Forsaken are loose, and he's busy releasing the other Forsaken, which is not how it works. The Forsaken are released as the seal on the Dark One weakens, and the ones who were closest to the top were the ones out first. Of course, we already should have faced 2 Forsaken at the end of Eye of the World, but we didn't do that. No. We didn't go that route. So they're kind of still out there. Of course, I believe they're changing the number of the Forsaken in this adaptation because they've already skipped over a couple that should be dead from Eye of the World. And we're getting to it. So apparently she says that he's out there freeing the other Forsaken. The Forsaken are on the loose. Most of them are out in the next couple of books within the story. And guess what? They all hate each other. The Forsaken do not work together willingly. They work together when they're forced to. Otherwise, they all proceed with their own plans and desires. Ridiculous that she knows that it's Ishii. Completely ridiculous. But she knows Ishii and she's now deathly afraid. We're losing. I need to go to Rand. I got to do the Lan saying, but I need to help you. I'm here. I promised. I swore an oath to you. I will follow you. Did you tell me? Didn't you tell me we were equals in all of this? And she's going to say, no, we're not. Now, some forgivers, apologists of this are going to say, well, because she's tied off from the source, she can't be held to the oath, Rod, because she's not going to be punished for it. Therefore, she just lied to him, guys. Why don't you accept it and move on, you angry nerd? No, I'm not going to accept it because it's bullshit, because this is a forced antagonistic relationship between Lan and Moiraine. They do not come to blows like this. Yes, is Lan unhappy with what she does sometimes? Yes, but he follows her orders and she lets him come along because she knows she's defenseless without him. She needs him. Even though he wants nothing more than to go be near Nynaeve. But he does his duty. Because in the books, he hasn't effed her yet. Well, Moiraine F's off. Here comes Alana and her bisexual duo to take Lan back to Tar Valon. Why? Don't know, because this isn't in the story. I have no idea what's going to happen next with Lan, because Moiraine F's off on her own. They're done. Bastardization continues, and now, finally, we get to talk about Rand and his made-up storyline in this. Finally, Rand enters the story. We open the episode with him, and we close the episode with him, which is why I'm leaving his segment for last. Of course, what I'm about to describe to you never happened in the book. Not at all. Completely manufactured, fabricated, crapped out of Rafe Judkins' ass. Because that's what it is. Shit. This is shit. Now, as we're going to go through this, when I was watching, I'm wondering, why are we even here? And then the very final scene, it makes sense why Rand is doing what he's doing in this stupid made-up story. But within it is something else that's horribly done and horribly executed and shouldn't be, because it ruins his storyline down the road. Let's get to it. The whole episode begins with Rand having a vision of him slaughtering everybody he loves because he goes crazy from the taint. Remember, the taint exists, but it only affects men in this fricked up version of the one power that everybody accesses. Remember, there's no Cider and no Sidon. Remember, they're not separated. So only men get poisoned. How? Don't ask, don't think, just consume. We realize, though, he's just standing in a window looking out. He's in Kyrian, I think I pronounced that right. I'm terrible with pronunciations from Jordan stuff. Bear with me. I always said Kyrian, but Kyrian, whatever. He's in Kyrian, way far away from Falm and Tomon Head, not even close to where he needs to be eventually. And with no reason to go in that direction right now. Anyway, he's looking out at the town, and we realize he's not alone. There's somebody in bed. It's a lady. Thank God it's a lady. At least he's not being gay with Perrin. It's a lady. And you know what lady it is? It's Selene. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Selene. Runner-up for biggest female chin in the show. Chinny McChin Chin number 2 next to Leandrin. God, this chick could chisel stone with that chin. I'm going to come back to why this is bad later on. Right. She wants him to come back to bed because she's apparently the proprietress of this inn which he's staying in, and he owes her some rent. He's paying with the snoo-snoo. All right. Because in this one, Rand is a sex fiend in this show. Original Rand was a virgin for a very long time until Aviendha jumps his bones. In book, I think it's, Fires from Heaven. Just he jumps his bones and fires from heaven. No, Rand has been getting it on with everybody in sight for a very long time now. He needs his fix. He has to get up and go to work. Where is he going to work? After a walk through town where people know him and like him, turns out Rand is working at an insane asylum. They have these in this world. Okay, fine, whatever. Why he's there, I was rolling my eyes. Why is he doing this? What's going on? It becomes clear at the end, and it makes it even worse. Makes it even worse than him just having a dumbass job running away from things. In this first part, he's taking care of a veteran of the Aiel War, and when he walks in, the guy goes, "The Aiel are here! Who let the Aiel in?" First of all, now I understand dude playing Rand had to shave his head for another role while they were filming this. I understand that, but you know what? There's a thing called a hairpiece. How can Rand be remotely mistaken for an Aiel, which he is of Aiel descent? How can he be remotely mistaken for an Aiel when you can't see his hair? Tall, red hair, gray eyes. That is the distinguishing features of an Aielman. But no, Rand is just tall with sort of gray eyes. I think he has blue eyes in this, actually. But no, he's got a shaved head. Yeah, you can see a little bit of red stubble, but it's that would not identify him as an Aielman. So this guy freaks out every time. Apparently he's got dementia from his PTSD. Rand is very nice to him, takes him to the hall, and while they're walking, here's what I love. When was part of the great, interesting relationships that Rand has in the Great Hunt is with Lan, who's been training him with the sword. That's gone. That didn't really happen. We didn't see it we didn't see it in the first season. We don't see it here. But this guy, this demented old veteran, is telling him about the different stances and attacks. That's where Rand is apparently picking up his sword skills from this guy. While he's taking the guy for a walk, some other orderly does a dick-ass move and shocks the guy and causes him to have a collapse, and he freaks out. Rand doesn't like it, tells him off, makes nice to the old man. And at first you think, okay, Rand in the next scene is being really, really weird as he targets said orderly one night out. Tracks him down, beats the crap out of him while summoning the one power, and then freaks out and runs away. And you're wondering, why did he just attack this guy because he's angry that he triggered the old dude he takes care of? You're thinking, what's going on here? We don't know yet. We're going to find out. Again, it gets worse. It gets so much worse with what they're setting up compared to where they should have gone with the books. He goes back to his room, finds Selene there, who comes on to him. Says, nice little phrase, people generally want to be alone when they really want to be together with somebody. I can make you feel better. You saw the transition clip. She comes on to him. He grabs her, throws her up against the wall, but then, they have the smecks. They have the snoo. We cut later to them post-coitus in bed. She gives this speech, and this is where we get really bad. And I'm going to stop here and talk about why it's bad instead of waiting for the end of the segment here. She talks about how he reminds her of someone she used to be madly in love with and devoted the world to. And even though she knows that she's replacing somebody else for him, he's a replacement for somebody she loved. And together they can just kind of find the comfort with each other. And he can be that for her until she gets it back. Here's the thing. Spoilers. Here comes spoilers. Selene is Lanfear, the most beautiful woman in history, one of the most powerful female Aes Sedai ever, one of the most powerful characters in this entire story, who was madly in love with Louis Theron Telamon, the original dragon. He threw her over for a regular for the regular lady, and she never got over that. Now, Selene and Lanfear in the book come upon Rand and Huron when they've accidentally slipped in through a waygate. and they're trapped in an alternate dimension. And she's there in a pure white dress, beautiful woman, and she gets into his head, and he can't stop thinking about her. But he resists all her come-ons, all her invitations. He resists. He doesn't give in. And later on, by the time we get to Dragon Reborn, by the time we get to Shadow Rising, he's figured out she's not Selene. She is, in fact, Lanfear. And she wants him for hers. And she's protecting. Lanfear is protecting him for herself. And that's, again, the Forsaken do whatever they want. Now, it's very important that Rand resists her and doesn't give in to the sexual temptation. Because to do that, he would lose himself. But here, even though she's not Lanfear yet, him having a sexual relationship with Selene, who should be dressed in all white too. That's the other thing. Lanfear likes to dress in white. She doesn't pose as a tavern keeper in the story. God. Having a sexual relationship with Selene Lanfear ruins the character arc for his resistance and only sleeping with the women he loves. Again, women he loves. His love is equally divided between Elayne, Min, and Aviendha. So this is just, it's retarded that he's in a relationship with her. And this chick, I'm sorry, she ain't that hot. This is supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. And she's got a chin that could crack stone. Got a bigger chin than I do. Next time we see Rand, it's the end of the episode. He's going back to work, and the orderly who he beat up, his client, has now been given to Rand. And I realized at this moment where they were going because I've seen the trailer. I know what's about to happen. Turns out the client of the orderly is Logain. That's right, gentle Logain is being kept in this asylum. Why? Don't know, because yes, the Aes Sedai farm out gentled false dragons to insane asylums across the world. And so now Rand has clearly wormed his way in here. This was his master plan, to become the caretaker of gentle Logain with the design to learn from Logain. Okay, Logain, who, when he was a false dragon, even in the real books, barely had an understanding of what he was doing. This Logain is already insane, doesn't have a concept of how he was doing anything, yet Rand's going to learn from him. As opposed to the books, as in when in Shadow Rising, Lanfear said, go learn from Asmodine. He's weak enough. He'll bend to your will. Make him teach you how to use the One Power. But no, that's not happening here. This retarded version. Rand's going to learn from somebody who knows nothing. And that's it, episode. Setting up for whatever retarded crap is going to happen in episode 3. I still have to do that today. God damn it.
Your usual orderly had a terrible accident last night. So I'll be taking care of you for the next few months. I have a feeling you and I have a lot more in common.
All right, we're done here. Episode 2 is over. What have we learned? This is, as I said from the beginning, in the beginning of the review, there's no real Robert Jordan story here. All of this, 98% of this story in this episode, completely made up, complete bullshit. And it's a real horrible disservice because the Great Hunt starts off with a chase. After Padden Fane escapes, we're literally on a hunt. It's not the Great Hunt because they already have well, technically it's a Great Hunt because they are hunting the horn. He's got the horn and the dagger. But you know what I'm saying? It's a chase story. And a lot of crazy shit happens along the way. And the girls, when they end up at the tower, get wrapped up in a hunt for Black Aja. A lot of intrigue. And they end up getting tricked by Liandrin and shoved off to the other side of the world where they get captured with Ascension and get enslaved. And that sets up Egwene's storyline for how she believes she should handle being an Aes Sedai. But all of a sudden, none of it. We are 2 episodes of 8 in, and nothing's been set up. Nothing has happened, and a lot of bullshit has replaced the real story. Not to mention, everybody looks terrible, sounds terrible, acts terrible, behaves wrong. dialogue terrible. This weird music they have in the show is awful. I hate this show, but I do this for you. We'll be back with episode 3. Until then, take it easy. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at therandnerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, at @therandnerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.